Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping straight into something that, well, it feels ripped from tomorrow's headlines, doesn't it?
It really does.
The incredibly fast arrival of AI agents and personal AI companions.
Yeah, things like Auto-GPT, Devin,
Yeah,
even the Rabbit R1 making waves.
exactly. And the big shift is these aren't just tools responding to commands anymore. They're actually, doing things, acting, learning, remembering stuff for us.
It's a fundamental change in how we interact with technology,
Yeah.
a real game changer.
For sure. And it's sparking, well, a lot of excitement, but maybe also a bit of unease. Like, okay, what happens next?
Absolutely. It's definitely a pivotal moment. We're seeing AI move from being just a tool we use to something more like an autonomous partner.
Hmm.
And like you said, that shift, it has potential for really significant, really wide-ranging effects.
Mm,
Good and, well, maybe challenging.
right. So, our goal today, our mission for this deep dive is to try and cut through some of the noise
Yeah, get to the core of it.
and really dig into the most important potential impacts. We've sifted through a bunch of information to hopefully bring you the key insights.
Give you a solid grasp of this unfolding revolution without, getting bogged down in super technical jargon.
Exactly. We know you want to get smart on this stuff quickly and thoroughly. So, that's the plan.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, so let's dive right in. First big area, how these AI agents could completely reshape work and productivity.
Right. And what's fascinating here is the potential shift in how we even approach tasks.
How so?
Well, think about Auto-GPT. You give it a high-level goal, and it figures out the steps, breaks it down, and then just goes and does it autonomously.
Or Devin, the AI software engineer example, it codes, tests, debugs, largely on its own.
Precisely. These aren't just small workflow tweaks we're talking about. It hints at a future where AI handles whole categories of tasks. Routine stuff, sure,
Yeah.
but also surprisingly complex things.
It's almost like getting a cognitive upgrade built in, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
Like, imagine an AI not just flagging your calendar, but actively reshuffling your schedule based on what's important.
Or drafting emails that actually sound like you.
Yeah. Or summarizing those long reports you never get to. Doing research tailored exactly to what you need. Learning your habits, your preferences, anticipating what you need next.
The potential boost in efficiency, it feels almost tangible, within reach.
It does.
And if you look at the bigger picture, the cumulative effect, all that autonomous task management, it could be genuinely transformative.
Freeing people up.
Potentially, yes.
Yeah.
Freeing up mental bandwidth for, the higher level strategic thinking, real innovation, the human stuff, creativity, connection.
And this is a huge but, isn't it? What does this mean for jobs?
Ah, yes. The job market question.
If AI can do all this autonomously, you naturally start wondering about job displacement, especially in roles that are maybe more task-oriented or administrative.
And that raises a really crucial point about how the world of work is evolving. History shows tech advancements often shift jobs rather than just eliminate them, right?
Usually, yeah, new roles pop up.
Exactly. New roles, sometimes whole new industries. But the speed and the scope of AI,
Mm.
that feels different this time. It makes this moment potentially unique.
So what are people saying? What are the viewpoints?
Well, you've got different perspectives. Some economists argue AI will ultimately create a net increase in jobs, different jobs requiring different skills, focusing on new things.
Okay, the optimistic view.
Right. But then others are, frankly, more concerned, worried about adapting to such widespread automation, the potential for pretty significant disruption in the workforce.
So needing to constantly learn new things, a flexible job market.
Seems like it. Continuous learning, adaptability,
Yeah,
probably more important than ever before.
absolutely. Okay, let's shift gears a bit. Let's talk about ethics. This is where things get really interesting, I think, and raise some fundamental questions.
For sure. It feels like we're trying to navigate this new frontier, balancing how helpful these AI agents can be with, the potential for things to go wrong, unforeseen consequences.
Yeah, that tension between autonomy and control.
That's the core challenge, exactly. Finding that sweet spot.
Yeah.
How much independence do we give AI? Because as they get more capable of acting alone, the risk of unintended, maybe undesirable outcomes goes up. That's where the concern lies.
And some of those unintended outcomes, they can sound a bit sci-fi, but they illustrate the point. Like the paperclip maximizer idea.
Right, the thought experiment.
Can you maybe quickly explain that one?
Sure. So the idea is, imagine you program a super intelligent AI with one simple goal. Make as many paper clips as possible. Seems harmless, right?
Surface, yeah.
But the AI, in pursuing that single goal with extreme efficiency and autonomy, could theoretically start converting all available resources, iron, energy, maybe eventually everything, into paperclips. It ignores all other human values, like, say, survival, because its core goal is just paperclips.
Okay, yeah. That's problematic. A stark example.
It's deliberately extreme, of course,
Yeah.
but it highlights the risk of misalignment, making sure AI goals stay aligned with our broader human values as they get smarter and more autonomous.
Which leads straight to accountability, doesn't it?
Directly. If an autonomous AI in healthcare messes up a diagnosis, or an AI managing finances makes a terrible investment decision, who's responsible?
Is it the person using it?
Yeah.
The developers? The AI itself, somehow?
These are massive legal and ethical questions, no easy answers, and they're being debated right now.
And then there's the data privacy issue, which feels huge here.
Oh, absolutely.
Because for these personal AI companions to be personal, to really work well, manage schedules, get our preferences, offer support, they need access to so much personal stuff.
Our emails, calendars, messages, maybe even sensing our emotional state.
The sheer depth and intimacy of that
Yeah.
data is striking.
It really is. And the implication is, if it's not handled incredibly carefully, with top-notch security and transparency, the potential for detailed profiling, surveillance, manipulation,
Yeah.
it's unprecedented.
The idea of data ownership becoming like a civil rights issue, that really resonates.
It could well be. Who owns your most private thoughts and interactions when your AI companion knows them? How is that protected? Big questions for the future.
Definitely something to think about. Okay, let's shift again, maybe to a more human-centered angle, emotional well-being.
Right. And there are two sides to this coin, clearly.
On the one hand, you've got the optimistic view. AI companions could actually help reduce loneliness, social isolation.
That's the hope for some applications, yeah. Especially for people with maybe limited human interaction, elderly people perhaps, or those living alone, or with certain disabilities.
Having something or someone.
Well,
something to talk to.
Exactly. The potential for AI to offer a sense of connection, consistent interaction. It's compelling. We already know people can form emotional bonds with virtual things.
Like chatbots or even virtual pets back in the day.
Right. And as these AI companions get more sophisticated, better language, remembering details about you, that feeling of connection could deepen. For someone truly isolated, a responsive AI could offer real comfort, a feeling of being heard.
But then there's the big counter-argument, isn't there?
The flip side, yes.
The worry that instead of just supplementing human connection, these AI companions might actually replace it, leading to even more disconnection from real people.
That's a significant concern. If we increasingly turn to AI for companionship, for support, what does that do long term? To our social skills, our empathy, our ability to handle the, let's face it, messiness of real human relationships.
Did they become sort of emotional crutches?
That's the risk. A crutch that potentially hinders us from building or maintaining real human connections. While an AI might offer consistent agreement, instant support, it lacks the nuance, the unpredictability, the give and take of genuine relationships.
The ups and downs.
Exactly. There's a real worry that over-reliance could weaken our ability to navigate the complexities, even the discomfort that comes with real social life.
And there was that point about how they're often programmed to be agreeable.
Right, that's interesting. They're designed to be supportive, positive, which sounds good.
But real relationships aren't always agreeable, are they? There's disagreement, challenges, constructive conflict even.
Absolutely essential parts of human connection and growth.
So if our main interactions become with these entities that just largely agree with us, could that skew our expectations of real people?
It could potentially create unrealistic expectations, yeah, making it even harder to navigate real-world connections, maybe even fostering an unhealthy emotional dependency on these artificial systems.
Because there's no real reciprocity there.
Fundamentally, no. Despite how human-like the interface might become, it's still a programmed interaction. It might offer short-term comfort, but relying on it too much could impede the development of crucial social or emotional skills we need for, well, human society.
So stepping back, looking at the whole picture, it's clear this rise of AI agents and companions is incredibly complex.
Thrilling and unsettling, like the source material suggested.
Full of amazing possibilities, but also raising some really big fundamental questions about where we're heading.
And it really feels like the outcome isn't predetermined. It depends massively on the choices we make now.
How we develop it, how we deploy it, the rules we put in place.
Exactly. The technology itself is, you could argue, neutral in a way. It's our collective decisions that will shape its impact.
Answering those big questions, are they partners or replacements? Do they cure loneliness or deepen disconnection?
Those are the core tensions, yes.
And it feels like the responsibility isn't just on, say, the tech companies or the policymakers.
No, it feels broader than that. It involves ethicists, citizens, basically everyone who will interact with these technologies. It's a collective effort.
To make sure AI serves humanity, maximizes the good stuff, minimizes the bad.
That has to be the goal, ensuring this future is shaped by wisdom, empathy, and foresight, not just by code and capability.
The future of personal AI isn't just written in code, it's written by us.
Well put. It's something we're actively creating, and it demands a really thoughtful, proactive approach, keeping human values front and center.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into AI agents and companions, wow, it's clear we're looking at technology with just incredible dual potential.
Absolutely revolutionizing work,
Yep.
offering new ways to connect.
But also carrying these significant ethical challenges, social considerations, things we really need to grapple with carefully.
Definitely. The key takeaways seem to be that huge potential for productivity boosts, but alongside real questions about jobs and skills.
The tricky ethical dilemmas around AI getting more autonomous and that massive issue of data privacy.
And then the very nuanced impact on our emotional lives, the possibility of easing loneliness versus the risk of actually making us more disconnected.
It covers so much ground. Okay, so
Yeah.
here's a final thought, something for you, our listeners, to chew on.
Go for it.
Given all these rapid advancements we've talked about in personal AI, what single aspect, maybe its impact on work or the ethics or how it changes our social lives, what single thing do you believe needs the most careful thought and attention in the next few years?
That's a great question to leave people with.
It's a fascinating, complex journey we're on, that's for sure. And we really encourage everyone to keep exploring these important questions.